today, I thought we actually do a project in real time and see how well the thing will work. Where I want to do an experiment using AI, showing you exactly how to do a project from beginning to end in real time. So I'm not going to be speeding or slowing anything down. So it might take a little while. We might have some issues and things like that. But you get an experience of what it's like working with it. And hopefully it'll give you some ideas of what you can actually do with AI these days. I'm going to be using basically what is available for free. So you don't have to sign up for anything to be able to do what I'm doing. But I do have a ChatGPT Plus account, which I'm going to be using, but I'm not going to be using any features that aren't available in the free version. So even if you sign up for just free accounts on various AI platforms, you should be able to do the same thing I'm doing. I'm also going to be using Google Forms. There's several basically apps that are also available at no cost. If you have a Google account, you can get Gmail, you can get Google Forms, Google Sheets, all that stuff is available. And so the difference thing about doing what I'm doing compared to what people usually do is a lot of these videos you go to online and they tell you all kinds of stuff. Basically, a lot of the stuff is a bunch of BS. But at the same time, some stuff is obviously really good, just like anything else. But a lot of these videos, people come out and say, look, you can use AI, you can use it to generate code, so you don't need to learn how to code. And that's a whole separate topic about learning how to code, how to design systems, and whether it's worthwhile or not. Hint, it's definitely worthwhile. But at the same time, it's true, you don't have to know how to program to be able to do things that could only be done before using programming. But the examples they give you a lot of times is, look, we can generate the snake game. And then you go to another video and look, I can generate the snake game. And then you go to a third video and they can generate a snake game. So basically it's completely useless for business. And I usually try to do my stuff that would be applicable to businesses, especially small businesses. So what we're going to do today, and again, going from beginning to the end, is I'm going to try to come up with a email that's the end result. Will be an email that will show a summary of a survey. Let's say we'll assume that we have a company like a vacation company, and this vacation company wants to get surveys from their customers to see how well the company is doing. Okay, so a lot of companies can use this as surveys for their own, whatever the business is. I'm going to use vacation company because I've been in hospitality for decades, so I know it really well, but basically you could use anything. So this is just an example. You can easily adapt it to your business. So I'm going to be kind of talking out loud to see what it is specifically that I'm doing and showing you, obviously, everything I'm doing. So we'll start out by going to, let's go to the game plan. And so the game plan would be, let's say you're a professional. So we're going to start with ChatGPT. You can use another LLM, AI if you want, but ChatGPT is fine. You're a professional survey taker. We're a vacation company who values feedback from our customers. First, I'd like you to create a short but compelling and useful survey so we can tell how well we're doing. Now, I specifically, as you can see, misspelled the word. Obviously, it's easy enough to fix it, but I just wanted to show you that a lot of things you do in AI, even if you make a little mistake like this, it'll figure out what you're trying to say. So I'm going to leave it as is, and you will see what's going on. So basically, we're saying, we're telling it to act as a professional survey taker. We're a vacation company who values feedback, and we'd like to create a short, compelling survey so we can tell how we're doing. So we hit enter and see what AI comes back with. And so ChatGPT comes back with, here's the survey, and here we go. So the idea here, what I'm trying to show is that it's not that the company that is creating this cannot come up with their own version of the survey. I mean, if you're in business, you know what kind of survey, kind of questions you want to ask. But I'm trying to actually step away and show you how you can use AI to do a lot of things that you normally would do manually or yourself to actually do it for you. And in terms of whether this is useful for you, would you want to basically outsource this to AI to handle for you or not? That's your decision. It's your company. Obviously, you do as you will. But I want to show you that you can if you wanted to. And if you do enough of this, then you can see you can trust it. And you can trust it to do it, or maybe you won't trust it. So, depending on the situation. But in this case, let's say this is it. So it created this thing, and you can see it says, what's your overall experience, which is a rating, and then it says accommodation quality, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this survey, and I'm going to copy it. Let's assume this is good. Obviously, we can change it any way we want, but let's assume that this is good. So I'm going to go ahead and copy it here, make a copy of it. And of course, at this point, if I didn't like it, I could ask it, I could give it thumbs up or thumbs down. I could edit it in Canvas and change some things around, add some additional things, remove some things. But for the sake of time and basically so it doesn't turn into a really long situation, I'm just going to go with what they have as the default because it looks pretty good. Okay, so the first thing we have our survey. Okay, obviously this survey is not useful. I shouldn't say useful. It's useful, it's not usable to give to the users. Unless you wanted to print it and it doesn't have company name. I mean, there's a bunch of things that need to be done, which I don't want to do. And at the same time, what we want to do a digital survey. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and, just so we have a copy of it, let's go ahead and open up Notepad, just so we have it handy. And in Notepad, we're going to drop the survey in there right there, just so we have a copy of it and have it sitting basically, just in case, so we don't lose it. And then the next thing we're going to do is we want to actually create this survey, and one of the easiest things to do this in would be Google Forms, okay? Because it also comes with the thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the form. We're going to go to actually before we do we can create the form by just entering all this stuff, but I don't want to enter all this stuff. Trying to be proactive here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, please create an app script for Google Forms to have this form in it. To create this form, I should say. Google Forms to create this form. Company name should be PCS. We'll use my company name. And if, I think that's the only thing they were asking for. Yeah, just company name. That's it. So we'll say PCS. Ask if you have any questions. Otherwise, please proceed. I want to be able to take your script, run it in apps script window, and have the form be ready to go. Also, please make the colors be pastels and pleasing to look at. Okay, let's just go with this, see what happens. So now it's going to create a script. So again, while it's doing this, to reiterate, I just want to make sure you understand. I'm driving the concept here, but I'm not actually doing anything physically to make it happen. I told it I wanted to create a form based on and the form will be created by it, not by me. and also I wanted to use the information that it generated in the prior step, because it remembers, to be used as the content for the form. And I wanted to use this, excuse me, I wanted to use this app script language, which is something that comes with Google Apps, to actually generate it for me, so I don't have to enter the form manually. See, it says right here, it's this script creates a Google form, which is exactly what I wanted. It's going to use pastel colors, and it's going to do all of that. Okay. Okay. To view form public URL. Once you run this, check the logs. View logs. Would you like additional customization? No, I think this is good. So why don't we go ahead and do two things. We're going to go ahead and copy it right here by clicking on the copy in the code itself. We don't need to look at the code. And it says open Google Drive. It gives us all the steps. Open Google Drive, click on New, and then More, and Google App Script. And then delete any default code and paste the script below. Click the Run. That's it. So basically, we go to Google Drive, another tab. So we go to drive.google.com, and we're going to click on New, and it said More, and we go to Google App Script right here, and then it said to, okay, paste the code. So we already copied the code. Create script. So it puts this function, doesn't have any code in it, so which is fine. So we're just going to go ahead and paste the code inside. Does it create a function? Let me see here real quick. I just want to look at the code itself. Yeah, it's created a function called survey. Okay, so we don't even need this part. We can just get rid of basically any code they had. Like it said delete the code. Then we're going to paste, Control V to paste the code we copied from ChatGPT. As you can see, it's all nice and ready to go. We're going to call it create survey form. Give it some nice name. Not because we have to, but it's just nice so you have something that means something. And then we go ahead and we save it, and then we go ahead and we run it. So as you can see, it's running. While it's running, you can see the execution log down below. It says authorization, so we review permissions. And the auth code was not found. If you're a developer, see the error details. Okay, invalid client. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say, okay, this is the error. I'm going to copy the error. And I'm going to go back to, so we have authorization issue here. Okay. It says requires, so we'll do this. And let's try it again first. So basically what it did was I wasn't logged in to Google account. So it says you got to have authorization, you don't have authorization. So I said, okay, let's log in and let's try it again. Review permissions. Okay. And so here it's actually giving me, so this was my problem. It's not that the issue was with the fact that I didn't log in before. So now it says execution started, and now we actually have an error, okay? So we say, we take copy of the error, jump back to ChatGPT, and say when I ran the script, it came back with the following error. And we just simply paste what it said. So I don't know what it means, I don't know what it does. To be honest, I don't really care. I just want a solution. So it says this version removes any incompatible function to ensure it runs smoothly. Okay, so basically it's giving me a new set of code. The question is, why is ChatGPT not smart enough to do this in the first place? You know, why create something that creates an error and then comes back when you tell it, I have this error, then it says, okay. It's kind of similar in a way to the way humans handle things. You know, you don't do everything flawlessly. A lot of times you do something and then you realize you screwed up, and then next time you fix it, so you do it differently because you know that you shouldn't have done the thing in the first place. So if you think about it, why did you do it in the first place when, if you really think about it, you knew this potentially would have been a problem? The reason is because you didn't know at the time when you did the first thing that there's going to be a problem. But now once you saw the problem, you know exactly how to take care of it, and then you're fixing it. So it's essentially doing the same thing right here. It's smart, but at the same time, it's not so smart that it can take care of it, at least not in this incarnation. So we just go back, we copy the new code once it's done developing. We hit Control A to select everything in AppScript, delete it, hit Control V to paste the new code. Okay, and let's try running it again. And let's see if the thing works this time. No. It's back with this error now. Okay, so again, it's a process of reiteration. Now I got this error. And you paste the error and you see what it does. And so basically you kind of go through and you have to, it says this version create Google form post edit public URLs, so on and so forth. Okay, so it's creating the new, hopefully this version hopefully will work, we'll see. So it's a process that the main thing I want to point out here is the trick is not to get irritated, which is what I used to do in the beginning when I used to do these things. It's like, you stupid deal, why can't you blah, blah, blah. It doesn't do any good, it doesn't make it work any better, it only raises your blood pressure and your stress levels. In other words, accomplishes nothing positive. So the idea is you work with it. Again, I'm not doing anything, I'm just simply doing what it tells me to do. It says, go ahead, here's the code, run it. Once you run it, then it should be good to go. I run it, it comes up with an error, I just copy the error, give it back to it, saying, doesn't work. So it goes ahead and says, okay, here's the new code. And then, so as you kind of go through these iteration processes, just keep in mind and keep track of what you're doing. So in my case, I just got the new listing, I copied it, as you saw me do it. I'm going to go ahead, hit Control A again, and hit backspace to delete it all, and hit Control V to paste the newest version. Okay, so make sure you copied it, like I copied it, before you actually move on to do the next step. And then I go ahead and do the, click on save the project there, and run it. Let's see if it works this time. Nope. Okay, so we'll go through, like I said, I wanted to show you how this works in real time. So, a lot of guys, when they do videos, they wind up telling you, we're going to speed it up, and when the thing works, then I'll get back to you. And so in the video, it looks like everything works in 2 seconds. It doesn't, not in real life, if you will. It doesn't work in 2 seconds. And so, also make sure that you scroll all the way to the bottom, so you don't copy the wrong code. So here it is, the latest thing. I'm at the bottom, still generating. So right now, clicking copy is an option, which I don't really know why they give it to you, since it's not quite ready yet. But I usually wait until it gets completely done, okay? And then I go ahead and copy it at that point. So when you're over any part of the code, you have the little copy and edit capability. And so we'll just do copy, get a little checkbox, go back to AppScript, do our usual Control A, Control V, and then I usually click on save just so it saves it, and then click on run, and let's see if we get another error. We do. And so I don't know how many iterations it's going to be like this before it finally figures out what its problem is, but we'll keep doing it until it gets done. Maybe we'll be here till tomorrow, who knows. You got this. Can't you? Now this last sentence I put in there, as you can see, is not something that normally you'd need to do, but at the same time it doesn't hurt anything. When they basically show a little bit of frustrations, blah, blah, blah. And it comes back and says, you're absolutely right. I should have been more meticulous. Let me carefully go through everything and so on. So does it make it better or not? I don't know. I'm hoping it would because it says, let me check it more meticulously, so on and so on. So I'm assuming it's going to take and do some additional things to make it potentially better. But we'll see. If it runs this time, maybe it was helpful. If it doesn't, then it's useless because it screws up anyway. So we'll see. Okay, supposedly all this time, URL, everything has been fixed. All right. All right, so let's try it again. Let's go ahead and copy it. And then let's drop it into the script here. Let's save it and let's run it. So as you can see, this can get to be a pretty frustrating experience. And, final 100% working Google Apps script. This will correctly create without any error. See, it's guaranteeing. And so just for the heck of it, we're going to say, first of all, let's jump to the bottom, make sure it's done. Not quite done yet, but getting there. Let's stick AI into the corner here and say, are you absolutely positive this will work? This is just for kicks. Yes, I'm absolutely positive the script will work correctly. This is where we get into hallucinations. Potentially, obviously, if it comes up with an error, and so much for saying absolutely positive. Okay. If you still hit an issue, unlikely, I'll troubleshoot immediately. Yeah, so it tells you, it'll be here to help you if you still have issues. So let's go ahead and copy that. Let's jump back into the app script. Let's clear out the last, I should say, session. And let's try running it again, see what happens. Hey, look at that. It said it's absolutely positive and looks like it worked. So it says, execution started at this time. And then it says form created. So this is the name of the form we have. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And so we can open it in another window here shortly. Public URL is here. Okay, so this is the one I need this one. The second one, and execution. Okay, so let's take the public URL and copy that. And then let's drop it into our notepad. Let's see where our notepad is. Right here. And we'll just drop it at the top here. So we have public URL for the form. And there'll be that. And so we have a copy of it just so we don't lose it. And then now we can go to open another tab. And we can hit Control V and we can check it out. And look at that. We actually have a nice looking form. PCS Vacation Experience Feedback Survey. Thank you for choosing PCS for your vacation. So all of this, as you can see, was written by it, not by me. Survey will take less than 3 minutes to complete, blah, blah, blah. And then we've got, on scale 1 to 10, how would you rate the experience with us? Your accommodation. Beautiful. So you got all the different basically choices there, even free-form here. That's great. So let's try to fill it out. Make sure it's working. So scale 1 to 10. How about we give it a 9? They're good, but they're not that good. And then, not perfect, I mean. Okay, how satisfied were you with your accommodation? I was satisfied. And then, did your accommodation meet your expectation? Exceeded. And then, how easy was it to book check-in? Easy. And then, how would you rate your customer experience? Excellent. And which of the following amenities did you use? You used the pool, We use the dining options and the fitness center. And see, they even have others. You can put other options. Do you feel your stay provided good value for the price you paid? Let's say somewhat. We're not the best customer. Would you recommend PCS to a family member? Absolutely. What could you do to make this even better? Use PCS software for booking. A little little shameless plug, I should say. And so we submit it, we see, option for another response, which is fine. We can go there, okay. So then the next question is, how do I see the results? It says open Google Form, edit link in the app script, view logs. Okay, click respond. Okay, so I open Google Form using the actual form right here. That's why they give us 2 URLs. So that's the one that allows me to actually edit the form. First one was a public facing, which is just entering the data. And then this one is actually where I can go in, I can change it. And it says click on, so it says there's one response. I click here, and then if I want to pull it up, and I usually put it in Google Sheets. So, it puts it in Google Sheets too, but you do this link thing to link it to Google creates a sheet, so you can just open it separately from forms. That's what I usually do. So we'll say create, and it does it, and there's the form, and there's my answers there. Number 9, this, and that. Okay? So basically, we have ability here to, by just going right to Google Sheets and looking at this response, we can see what different people say. We have 1 line per entry, so if I go back to the form, and if I fill out another one saying I'm extremely unhappy, dissatisfied, below expectations, just a really unhappy customer, difficult to use, and very poor service. Let's see, we used the local excursions, let's say, and we used the pool. No, not really. And would you recommend? No, definitely not. You guys, you're terrible. Whatever, okay? Whatever people usually do 1-star reviews. Okay, so it's recorded. So now if we go look at the spreadsheet, now you can see 2 entries, not just 1. We have that. If you actually go to the form itself, you have on the responses in the Google Forms, when you open up the form where you can edit it, you can actually see immediate response in terms of the details. So 50% said that they're dissatisfied, 50% says they're satisfied. You can see right here. And it'll break it down. The more entries are there, the better the chart is going to look. And over here we can see this chart, and you can see how many entries and how many percent indicated that they're not satisfied, satisfied. So, the more entries you get, the better this looks, because it's going to have a lot more granularity to it. It shows you which things people use, which they used more often, and so on. And so it gives you a very nice feedback, but it doesn't give you kind of a summary of what most people think. And so let's say we'll just do one more for the sake of this experiment. Let's do one more submission here. We're going to say we got somebody who is like 7 and satisfied, very satisfied, met expectations. It was very easy. And how would you rate customer service? Was good. And the dining options and the local excursions and say fitness center, yes, I liked it, and I would maybe recommend it. And the lights were broken when the lights didn't work when we got there. John stopped by to fix it, and he did a very nice job, very prompt and courteous, cool lighting, wasn't quite working all the time, but overall we had a good time. Kids love the pool. People write all kinds of stuff that nobody cares about, but to them makes it. It's important to them. So you want to look into all these comments and everything, always, and make some hay out of it. So okay, so then we got we have 3 surveys. So we have everything in here. If we look at the this part, you can see it breaks it down more so, and so as more and more people fill this out, obviously you get much better idea of what things are like. So here we went through the process of having the AI create a program to use the script that basically is used by Google applications to create a form, which is, you can see it's fully functional. I didn't have to do anything to make this thing work. It's the results are normally stored in the form itself, but I like to do this create spreadsheet so I can view it then later in Sheets and do some stuff with that. So then the next thing is, now that we have this link that we can use to give people to fill out this form, which is we can email it to them, we can show it in some on the web page. We can basically use the link like any other link. So that's all functional. The only other thing is, it would be nice to be able to then look at all this information that people put in free-form text and the ratings and everything else, and actually tell us what is the overall kind of feel and experience. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go and say something like this. We're going to go back to AI. Let's go in this case to Claude, because Claude usually does a better job of this. And this is my experience. So we're going to go to Claude AI. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spreadsheet. I'm going to go ahead and download it by doing the file download as, let's download it as, I'm trying to remember if Claude can understand CSV files. Let's try it. Let's try the Excel first. And so I'm going to download it as an Excel file, and it's sitting over here, right there. Let's go to this location. Let's see, show. Well, it's okay. We don't need to open it right now. This is fine. So that's where it is. We'll let it sit there. And what we're going to do is, yeah, it's in download right now. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put this aside. We have the file. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Claude, and we're going to drop this file by just dragging it directly into this. And so it takes it. And then I'm going to say, this is a spreadsheet with results from a survey for my company. I'd like you to examine it and give me a 2-paragraph summary of main overview of responses. Give me a bulleted, actually numbered, not bulleted, numbered list of main takeaway points to improve the experience in the future, and any other suggestions for improvement based on what people said. Okay. And so this is going to give us basically what we're looking for uh, based on this file. So we're going to run it, and it's going to come back and says, okay, I'll help analyze the survey. Let me examine the Excel file, so it knows it's Excel file clearly. Does its thing. It actually creates some program that'll do it, and it says it came up with an error, so it apologized. Let me fix it. In the usual like we did before. Okay, so based on that, as you can see, literally within a minute, it didn't take that long for it to fix this problem. It says, based on the survey responses, I can provide an overview and recommendations. Let me make the screen a little bit bigger for those who have a hard time reading. The feedback shows a wide range of experience with overall rating ranging from 1 to 9 out of 10. With some guests reported exceptional experiences with clean accommodations, excellent customer service. Others encountered significant challenges. The amenities that consistently received positive mentions were pool spa, dining options fitness center. Customer service appears to be variable, with some guests receiving excellent support, like John's prompt response to fix lighting issues, while others had less satisfactory experiences. The booking and check-in process seems to be an area of mixed feedback, with some finding it very easy, while others experiencing difficulty. So, as you can see in this very short number of responses, you don't really get, it basically goes from great to bad. It's hard for it to tell you exactly, those are the numbers, so they don't really mean anything specifically because you don't have enough entries in there. But if you were using it in the real world, and you actually had a bunch of people responding to your surveys, the more people respond, the better response here you're going to get, better feel for what's going on with the service and everything, with the business. It says value for the money appears to be a concern for some guests, even among those generally enjoy their stay. Local excursions offering. So here's an example. It shows you that potentially you might want to look at your pricing. That even though people seem to like it, they think it's a little overpriced, or maybe a lot overpriced. It says local excursions offering is proving popular among guests who participate in these activities. Technical issues, particularly with lighting systems, have been noted by multiple guests. So now you know what to do there. They tell you exactly what should be fixed. So basically, within these couple of paragraphs here, you're getting a fairly decent idea about what's wrong, what should be fixed. And it says key recommended for improvement. Number 1, implement standardized software system for booking and check-ins to streamline the process, specifically concerning PCS software, as suggested by guests. So here's an example here where it actually, remember how I put in to use PCS software? It's putting in that as a suggestion. You might want to change your software system. Number 2, establish a regular maintenance schedule for facilities and so on. 3, review pricing structure and value proposition, possibly introducing seasonal packages, loyalty programs, so on. So it's giving you basically a tremendous amount of helpful info within literally minutes of even running this thing that tells you exactly what you could be doing to improve your business. Okay? And additionally, consider implementing a real-time maintenance reporting system for faster response to issues. Develop comprehensive pre-arrival room check protocol to prevent issues like non-functioning lights, and create formal feedback loop where guest suggestions are regularly reviewed and incorporated into improvement plans. It would also be beneficial to follow up with highly dissatisfied guests to understand their specific concerns in more detail, potentially offer some form of service recovery. So this is golden stuff. I'm telling you from being in the industry, and we had surveys that we did. This is absolutely golden, where you don't have to hire any expensive, basically people to come in as consultants or anything else like that. You have what you need right here. And I don't care if you're CEO or if you're somebody who's sweeping the floor. Anybody can get access to this technology right now at no cost and create exactly the same thing I just created. Okay, as you can see, again, I didn't do anything. I just kind of orchestrated the whole thing, and here we go. We went from having nothing to having a professional survey with professional results in terms of outcome of what the survey means. Okay, literally in a matter of minutes here. Okay, now the other thing that I think I'm going to leave it so this video doesn't get too long. I'm going to leave the second part for another video, and what I want to talk about as a possibility of a different way to handle it is instead of doing the steps we did for the final result, is at the end, because there is some stuff involved where you have to run this and you have to run that and so on. The idea being that as they fill out these forms, you don't really need to be creating the form because you only need to create it once. So once you go through the process, form is ready, you're disseminating it, people are using it, great. But to get this part here, you basically have to go and prompt the AI to give you the final results. And first you need to obviously feed it the actual results file. So you have to get that file created, which is no big deal, menu option, download, and then you just drop it into AI. It's not hard to do, it's not difficult to do, but it's an extra step that you need to take. And so if you're trying to automate the whole thing, then my recommendation would be to go, and this is what I'm going to do in another video, is to use something like Relay app, which is one of these workflow automation apps that allows you to take various apps and combine results from them into a workflow. So the idea is that this piece about me taking the file from Google Sheets and then feeding into AI and having AI generate the result, and then potentially I want that result not to be shown here on the screen, but just simply emailed to me. So the way the process would work then is, that would be different than this process, is that once we get the form created using what we did today, from that point forward, there will be this additional automation thing that will basically work, let's say, on a daily basis. It would automatically fire up this Relay app workflow, which will go in, grab the information. It would then feed it to AI. AI would examine and come up with a report, and then it would automatically send that report to me via email on a, let's say, nightly basis, weekly basis, whatever basis I want. But the idea at that point is that we completely automated the process. People fill out the forms, which was something we set up once, and we're done with it. And then on a daily basis, we have this email to give us the results as where we're at right now, using all the information that was put in by people since the last time we got it. So if we get it on a weekly basis, basically it would show us the information with cumulative effects from the beginning of time when we started this until today, for example. And so every week you get a new report. Some things might adjust about what the recommendations are, with this, with that. Maybe you do it monthly. I don't know how often you do the report. It's totally up to you. But the idea being that everything is automated. I don't have to do anything. Once it's up and running, people fill out the stuff, I see the reports, and I can take whatever action I can take based on these reports. Everything else is completely automated. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to create this automated workflow to handle this last part and make this process completely transparent, basically, and automated on a continuous basis. So I hope you like this video. Please let me know in the comments if you find this useful. If you'd like to do some other similar type videos where we go through the whole process of using these various tools to come up with the end result that you want to have based on whatever your business is, I'll be happy to take a look at it. And if it's something that will be useful for a lot of other people, I'll be happy to create a video to do that. Until next time, I'm Oleg.